非程创新带你看非洲创投。大家好，我是李国海。现在呢，我来到了非洲领先的科技媒体Weemedia的办公室。大家看，这是它的门上的 logo。然后今天我们来找它的创始人Rishabh 来聊一聊肯尼亚和整个非洲的这个全年的创投的情况，然后看看从媒体的角度他对非洲的创投有哪些看法。Okay, let's start the conversation. Hi, Rish.
Hey,
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Okay, so
pleasure
maybe
to be...
you can have a very short introduction to our Chinese audience.
Yeah, a pleasure to be here. My name is Rishabh. I have been a founder from the last 6 years. I've started 3 startups, and I've been on the investment table as well.
Okay.
I've invested in around 10 companies in my personal capacity.
Okay.
And then I've also I was a VC investing Chinese capital in Southeast Asian markets and India.
I see.
So before I came to Africa, I was pretty much based in Shanghai and Beijing and a bit of and a bit of India. We were investing in startups primarily in the media, the TMT, and the entertainment space. Before that, I was running a startup called Accelerate. It was a investment intelligence platform, a market intelligence platform that used to help investors from around the world find good startups in the Indian market. So it was bootstrapped for a good 11 or 12 months. I then traveled to Beijing and Shanghai and Shenzhen, basically look for investments.
I see.
While I was traveling, came across a very interesting company who was looking to expand their footprints into the Indian market.
So build very good connections to Chinese
at that time,
companies.
yes. And got a couple of leads, but then what ended up happening was the company who was looking to invest in us started working with us very closely.
I see.
And then ended up offering a 100% acquisition offer for Accelerate since they were in the process of launching
So
a
then
fund.
you exit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So that was the first exit of the whole startup life. Just after that,
So you decided to go into Africa.
Yeah, so the team asked me to move to China. We made investments, and just after that, the whole discussion moved around that India has grown as an economy a lot, and then I was following the trends in Africa from a very long time, even at the times of Accelerate. So I started traveling to Africa, and the reason I came to South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria, this was sometime in 2017, was to look for potential investments, since there was an interest from a lot of Chinese VCs and angel investors that they want to invest in the African market, and that's when the travel started.
Okay.
So
Nice. Cool.
that's pretty much what I've done.
Yeah. So you used to be a kind of investor and serious entrepreneur and the new founder of your current company.
Right,
Wow.
Weemedia.
Yeah, you're doing a lot, huh?
Right,
Cool.
trying my best.
Cool. So as the founder of Weemedia here based in Nairobi, in Kenya, so what do you see the big picture in the African tech ecosystem? Because I just learned that you publish the annual investment venture report as a very valuable one.
Yeah.
So maybe you can share with us some insights.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. So one of our brand is wiht, which basically focuses on startups, innovation, and economy, Pan Africa. We just launched the annual report on the venture investments in the whole African market. The trends were very interesting. We've been tracking the African market from the last 3 years now.
3 years.
Yeah. Wow. So 2017 was when we did the first report, and then 2018 and 2019. Cool. Yeah. So with the scale, the African economy in terms of the startups is growing, is enormous. Right. In 2017, you would not see more than 100 startups getting investment throughout the whole continent. This has grown at least 50% year on year.
Okay.
So what was happening in 2017 doubled in 2018. What happened in 2018 doubled in 2019.
I see.
In 2018, as per WeTracker data, African ventures and startups raised around $724/$725 million. the the figure doubled in 2019. The amount is $1.340 billion, which is a very good growth for African ventures. A big chunk of it actually comes from Chinese investors.
How much percent?
I would say more than 25 to 35% has come in bigger deals from China.
Cool.
Transient invested, Transient, which runs Techno, invested in a company called Pompeii. And then a couple of more investments has happened. We've seen Meituan also, entering here. So the ecosystem is growing. Just like any other developing ecosystem, I see that in 2020 there's going to be a lot more growth in terms of entry of new investors like yours. You've been here for a while, although, but entry of new investors. We're going to see the rate of startups that are going to be founded every year is at least going to double this year, because there's a hype in media now. That hey, Startup Africa, right? So many people are talking about startups. The young entrepreneurs and the innovative entrepreneurs are now seeing how you're able to grow and solve an infrastructural problem that has been there from a while. But now this is an opportunity for the young people, the innovators, to come and solve. So 2020 is going to be amazing. Very good news.
Okay, and now apparently you're based in Kenya,
Yes, sir.
In Nairobi. So how do you like Kenya, and what is happening in Kenya tech ecosystem?
Sure. So I've lived in South Africa. I've seen the South African ecosystem, and I've traveled across. So I can be in a very good position to compare the ecosystems of South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya. And talking about Kenya, the ecosystem is very dynamic, right? The growth especially has been a lot more in Kenya than I would say any other economy. And when I say growth, I mean the number of ventures that are being founded, the number of seed investments that are happening in the ecosystem.
So it is easier for the startup to start here in Kenya than other countries.
I would say that it's not like it's easier here. It's more like the conditions are favorable. The government is very friendly, and then we also talk about the whole resource aspect. The employment stats here are good. Getting talent, and the affordability factor is there. So I would say overall, as a climate for entrepreneurship, Kenya is pretty much a very good ecosystem.
Cool.
In terms of growth, I would say 2020 again, you'd see at least a 50% jump in venture investments in 2020 in Kenya.
Cool. And so let's talk about some promising and developing sectors in Kenya. So which ones do you think they're gonna rise?
Sure. So I think a lot of them are already on rise. If you've been following Kenya, you know that lending companies, the micro lending companies, have developed a very interesting market in Kenya. In fact, this has been the most biggest market, I would say, the largest market for a lot of companies focusing on lending. The branches and the talas of the world are focusing on taking to the tier 2 and the tier 3 towns of Kenya,
as well as go down, right?
Exactly, as well as the developing parts of Nairobi and Mombasa. If you go further to Kawangware and if you go to Kiberas, you'd see a lot of hoardings and out of home advertising.
So that is micro lending.
Everybody knows about micro lending here. So apart from that, I also do feel that edutech, it's one of the sectors which is growing a lot, especially again, you have a very young population. Right?
So what is what are they learning?
Learnings for
like STEM, like coding, or
so I would say it's a mixture of both, right? USSD has been widely used in Kenya, and a lot of innovative companies are actually trying to tap the feature phones and then educate the K-12. They are focusing on STEM, and obviously I would say more than edutech, I would also count a bit of HR tech in edutech, which is more or less of talent development, in which you're taking the young population of Kenya and then training them on a certain skill and making them
so that
employable.
They can find job.
Precisely. I see. Another sector that has been picking, I'm personally a fan of, and I've been using that a lot, is last mile delivery and logistics. A lot of companies have come up. The investments are crazy high. Just to give an idea, 2018, I think it was just Uber Eats actively, participating here in terms of getting food from a restaurant to your home. Now we have Uber Eats. Now we have Glovo. We have Jumia Food, and the competition is pretty high. That's pretty much.
And that's kind of popular, in the market.
Yeah, it's popular. I think one of the main reasons is because of the boda bodas, right? So
the motorbike.
Exactly. So the motorbikes here, the fleet is high, right? So, and it's not a new phenomenon. People here have been using motorcycles and boda boda for local transportation, I don't know, from years, right? The new companies try to innovate this and use the same fleet into solving multiple logistical problems. From Sendis to Uber Eats, everything is happening from logistics to last mile to even peer-to-peer couriers.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
Maybe next question, maybe we can talk more about what you're doing, because now, as we know, Weemedia is one of the kind of major mainstream tech company now.
Sure.
So maybe you can show us what you're doing and what it look like.
So before that, when I came to the continent to basically do investments, one thing that was happening on its own is sort of a POC / the market entry strategy and figuring out what's happening. What we saw at that time was majority of entrepreneurs were focusing on solving the infrastructural problems, right? They were entrepreneurs in agri, lending, logistics, and everything, but nobody was really looking at media as a problem,
content.
right? Exactly, content. So that's where we figured, since I've been a media entrepreneur, I've been in the content space before, I sat down with my founding team, and we just had a discussion on this is where the market stands, right? Content is a big problem. There are so many African millennials that still have to go to so many international platforms to consume content, and we ended up deciding that we have to build a company which has a multi-brand strategy. When I say multi-brand strategy, I mean we launched different content brands for people to consume. So today, as of today, we have vtracker.com, which is focused on business, innovation, economy. We have gadgetsafrica.com, which basically focuses on consumer gadgets, mobile phones, the reviews, and all the content around gaming and future and everything.
I see.
And then we have another platform called Afromaisha, which basically is like the hyper local guide to discovery in Kenya.
Cool.
Where should Vincent go to eat food? Where should Vincent go to shop in Nairobi? How should Vincent go to Naivasha? How should Vincent go to Mombasa? So all the discovery content, and we have a very different approach in terms of working with content. We just don't want to build media brands. We're trying to align a product with every media brand that we have. So with vTracker, we've launched something called the Base.
The Base.
Think of the Base as the only venture capital database of Africa.
Wow,
what we have is So what we have is.
Why not we change the angle and we see some demo?
Yes, let me just quickly show you that.
Okay, let's see your website.
Yeah, as we were talking, what you see right on the screen is vTracker. This is focused on Pan-African startups and economy. You see, the report just went live. It basically is on the ventures. The content is updated every day. We have a team of journalists across South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria.
So you have a very big coverage, huh?
Yeah, we have a vast coverage, but we have a lean team.
Okay.
Second platform is Gadgets Africa. This is, as I said, this will be your guide to what to buy, what not to buy, how to buy, and all of that.
I see.
Yeah, so this focuses on, Gadgets Africa is just right now based in Kenya. We have a lot of heavy video content as well, which is consumed. So combining vTracker and Gadgets Africa, we get more than 2 million views a month. If I add on Afromaisha to it, which is more or less a lifestyle and a discovery platform,
I see.
which is like 10 places in Kenya to add to your travel bucket list this year. But this again, content is generated every day. Again, content heavy, and it's picking up really well. Just a 3-month-old brand.
That's nice.
Yeah. As I said about a strategy, we focus a lot on products. Yeah. So this is the Base. It's basically just a 3-month-old platform, and if I look at the active users today, it's a freemium platform. So you can come and sign up for free as an investor. You can come and register your startup for free.
So basically, it is the same concept as Crunchbase.
Precisely.
Right? Okay.
Precisely like that.
But it is dedicated to African market.
African market. Right.
I see.
So you can look at any of these startups. You can see if they were funded. So like, let's open this profile. Sorry. Yeah, so you get all the information about what is an exchange, where it's paid, has it been in news, have they raised any investment so far, who have they raised all the money
that's
from,
interesting.
what's their team like, have they done any acquisition, and what are the similar companies like.
So
Similarly,
so in that means you can reach a lot of great African startups, right?
pretty much. So we have. So if I look at today, we have more than 5,000 startups who are working in Africa or for Africa in our database.
That's so
We do all
valuable.
of this through our machine learning crawlers. So we crawl the web, and then I have an investment analysis team, which now filters the data and then upload it. Similarly, we have investing profiles of investors. Where are they investing? And all of that. So yeah, this basically is the data hub, which we are now turning into more or less the one-stop platform for startups, investors, and we're just going to launch another update, which will now I cannot talk much about it, but it's going to be a much more interesting platform.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So how about the extension of this service? Because you can reach a lot of great startups, and then so what about your plan in 2020?
Yeah, so especially focusing on the startups and young entrepreneurs and investors, we saw that just in 3 months we got more than 700 signups, and majority of these were investors.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what we are now planning to do in the startups front is connecting and taking the very interesting startups from Africa to the whole world. We are doing a very interesting concept in which we take entrepreneurs who've raised capital, if not raised capital, have great traction from across Africa, from Egypt to South Africa. We're taking them on a roadshow to China, in which what's going to happen is we're going to, it's more or less going to be an investment / exploration trip.
Yeah.
So if you're a startup, you've raised, let's say, $1 million, or your revenue, let's say $500,000.
Okay.
So solve the trip for you.
Yeah.
We are taking you out there, and we're going to make sure that you meet the right investors who intend to invest in African companies. So the plans are pretty much to grow African economy in a more inclusive way, get more startups access to finance, and, and grow the business the way it is.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Okay, so we talk so much about different topics, and hopefully we can work together and to engage as many as the top level African startups to come to China and to meet Chinese top investors. Okay,
cool.
And hopefully we do something great together.
Yes, thanks for having me here, and just to all the viewers, if you're watching this, Vincent and the team is doing a very amazing job. One of the only Chinese enablers here. They're not just investing, they're just looking to enable companies as a whole. So keep up the good work, man.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, all right.
That's
Ciao.
it.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.